This episode of Down the Rabbit Hole is brought to you by Music Centre Gosford for all your music needs.
Well, a brand new show in a brand new location in a brand new studio. Welcome back to DTRH, Down the Rabbit Hole. Well, good evening and welcome back to DTRH. If you've missed us, we can certainly say we sure have missed you. As many of you will be aware, we've moved away from the central coast of New South Wales and are now situated down in Victoria. I just want to reassure everybody out there that we will continue our ongoing support for all things Central Coast and Newcastle in the way of songwriters, artists and bands. We truly believe in what you guys do and we're there to support. Of course, now being here in Victoria, we're hoping to be able to help and support the local artists down here and perhaps join everybody up via this show. We're going to start the show off tonight with a truly amazing songwriting partnership. Andrew McLennan and Eddie Rayner. That's right, Andrew McLennan, formerly of bands in the 80s such as Coconut Rough and Pop Mechanics, and some work in the Swingers as well, had a very big hit with his band Coconut Rough called Sierra Leone. As a result of that, he was doing some touring with legendary New Zealand band Split Enz, and it was there that he met the amazing keyboardist Mr. Eddie Rayner. They formed a friendship, and now, many years later, they've got together to produce an album, and they have a brand new single just out called Laugh About It Till You Drop. So thanks for tuning in to DTRH, and we are going to hit you up with some great songs tonight, starting off with Laugh About It Till You Drop.
I fix myself up when I'm broken. I've been silently outspoken. I've been shy and a showman. I can laugh about it now. I see the funny side and how I'm still learning how to say no, when to hang on, when to let go. Master or a slave, play the hand you played, play on. When I was 5, I was gonna be a policeman. When I turned 10, I got a BMX. My teenage years, I went girl crazy. Who could blame me? I can laugh about it now. I see the funny side and how I'm still learning how to say no, when to hang on, when to let go. Master or a slave, fortune for the brave, play on. Yeah, never could sit in my own skin. Oh no, never could finish anything that I started. I can laugh about it now. I see the funny side and how I'm still learning how to say no, when to hang on, when to let go. Fortune, who of us rise up from the dust? Hold on. Well, nothing changes if nothing changes. If it's the same, then it's just the same. Oh, I had to cry, I was forsaken, stirred and shaken. I can laugh about it now. I see the funny side and how I'm still learning how to say no, when to hang on, when to let go. Master on a slave, fortune for the brave, from the cradle to the grave and beyond. Yeah.
Well, that was Andrew and Eddie and Laugh Till You Drop. And let me tell you, we were just bopping around this studio till we were ready to drop. What a fantastic song. Speaking of fantastic, Newcastle teen sensation, and I don't use that term lightly, Piper Butcher has a brand spanking new single out, and it is absolutely rockin' good. Influences like Lucas Nelson and Stevie Nicks can be heard on it. It has some brilliant band moments with some lovely solo spots. As she says, she wants to be around for a long time. Well, we think here at DTRH that she is definitely going to be around for a long, 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 long time. Sit back and get into the rock with Haunting Your Thoughts. Here's Piper Butcher.
Where does she lay? Where does she fall? Where does she go when it all goes wrong? How does she sleep when the world stops turning? You're fanning the flames for a distant mayhem. Well, hear me out loud and clear. Have me ringing all through your ears. The sun is setting down on you this time. Well, I'm haunting your thoughts tonight. Well, maybe now it'll all make sense. You had a dose of your poison and medicine. Well, feel your love, boy, and feel your chest pound. And feel that way, you don't want it coming back around. Hear me out loud and clear. Have me ringing all through your ears. The sun is setting down on you this time. Well, I'm haunting your thoughts tonight.
that was the incredible Piper Butcher and Haunting Your Thoughts. And now we go from the young to the young at heart, in fact. The Bombers, under leader Ty Coates, have reformed after a long time and are back doing some touring, and they have a brand spanking new album out they're releasing called Man Down. And here is the title track from that, performed live at the Bridge Hotel last April. Here is Ty Coates, The Bombers, and Man Down.
This one's title track of our new album called Man Down. This one's all about PTSD.
So don't you become another man down. It's another man down. We'll take it down.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Well, that was legendary rockers, the Bombers and Man Down. Speaking of legendary rockers, the Bounty Hunters Band are back in this show with their song Crack of the Whip. Important song for them, as that song won them the very prestigious Australian Songwriters Association Award for Best Rock Song 2016 and also Best Live Performance. Here they are a couple of years ago doing this exact song live at Frankie's Pizza, which is a well-known Sydney rock venue. And the good news is the Bounty Hunters are going to be doing a lot more recording this year, a new album on the way with their current lineup, which is Lynn Hines, David Hines, and of course Mick O'Shea on drums. Here is the Bounty Hunters and Crack of the Whip. the Bounty Hunters and the crack of the whip. And right now we're going to head over to the Bounty Hunters studio where they're going to crack the whip a bit more and show us how to make good use of some guitar pedals. Take it away, Dave and Lynn.
Thanks, Andy, and hi everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to another instalment of Heinz's Hints. On this particular episode, actually it was Andy's suggestion. He thought it might be fun if we took you through a few of the effects that we use when we're playing live with the band, the Bounty Hunters band, and also for recording on Lynn's bass and my guitar. So we're going to show you a couple of these things we've got on the floor here. I'm going to start off with Lynn's bass effects. She's running an MXR sub-octave bass fuzz, which is pretty gnarly.
That's great.
It's got the fuzz effect and a sub-octave, so it takes her note down an octave to what she's actually playing along with the fundamental note. So it's a pretty gnarly sound. So we're going to kick off. We're just going to play the riff out of Damn the Torpedoes, one of our songs, which starts with the bass. And so Lynn's going to play it clean. That's without effects. That's just the bass threaded in the air.
Yep.
Then she's going to kick in the fuzz for the next round, and then the sub-octave with the fuzz, and then she's going to go to the Boss high band flanger, which is gives us sort of a jet plane swirly kind of psychedelic-y sort of effect, which is really effective for certain things. So Lynn's going to take you through those effects: clean, fuzz, sub-octave, flanger. And then I'm going to bring the guitar in on a clean sound. I'm using an Ethos overdrive pedal here, which is it's basically like a preamp and overdrive pedal. It's got two channels. I'm going to start with the clean channel, and then I'm going to kick in the overdrive channel for a crunch rhythm. And it also has a boost function on it, so I'm going to kick that in last and play some lead on the boost. So to give you listen to those three guitar tones out of the one pedal. So that's basically what we're going to do. We're just going to get a bit of a drum beat going, and then we'll start with a clean bass sound and then add the effects as we go. There we go. That's clean bass. Fuzz. Now comes the octave, sub-octave. Some of the effects we use live with the band and in recording. So hope you gain a little bit of insight as to what you can do to sort of mix up your sounds with some of these lovely little pedals that we love playing with.
We do.
Okay. Thanks for watching, and it's back to Andy. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Dave and Lynn, and we will look forward to catching up with you guys with more Heinz's Hints in up-and-coming episodes of DTRH. A change of pace now away from the rock scene. Well-known Christian outfit Enter Worship have had some stunning singles over the last 12 months, and we're about to present the third in their trilogy called New Horizons. These were all recorded up in the Blue Mountains, and the film clips have all been absolutely breathtakingly beautiful, as has the songs themselves. We can't wait to see what comes up for Enter Worship in the next 12 months, but right now, to complete the trilogy, here is Enter Worship and New Horizons. That was the sublime and amazing Enter Worship. Our next artist tonight, I am incredibly proud to call a friend, a fellow musician, and a supporter of many other musicians. Of course, I am talking about the amazing Christine Best. Christine started out her music career quite late in life, but in a very short time has garnered a huge reputation and respect from other artists, both as a lead performer and also as a band member. She has not only played with our band, she has played with so many different bands around the Central Coast at live venues and is incredibly accomplished mainly in percussion, but recently she has branched out to do some singing and play some guitar and write her own material. The song we're going to present tonight for her is called Oh Young Man and is a tribute to her son she wrote for his wedding. It is a resoundingly brilliant set of lyrics wrapped up in a beautiful, simple song. Here is Christine Best and Oh Young Man.
Oh young man, I see you now, all grown up, and I'm proud of the man you've come to be. I think back over the years when you were just a boy. Seems like yesterday to me. Ooh, we kicked our ball in the park, swam in the sea, played lots of games, and I tucked you into bed after dark. I enjoyed every day, even though some were hard, as I helped you along your way. Joy. You were my little boy. To me you were everything, and for all the world I wouldn't change a thing. Then you moved 2,000 Ks away from home. Then I knew I'd done my job, you'd make it on your own. Oh young man, I see you now, all grown up, and I'm proud of the man you've come to be. You are my pride and joy. You were my little boy. To me you are everything, and for all the world I wouldn't change a thing. And for all the world I wouldn't change a thing. Ooh.
Well, that was the beautiful Christine Best and her song Oh Young Man, a song for her son. And now we go from songs about sons to songs that are being sung for sisters with the incredible Adam Kane. For those of you who don't know, Adam Kane is a former Central Coast artist who has made his home and his life over in Vancouver in Canada. I used to work with Adam a million years ago at a well-known Terrigal restaurant when he was just starting out his music career. I had a chance to catch up with Adam after many years and see how his career had been panning out, and I was absolutely blown away by what this man has achieved. Starting out as a 17-year-old, like most of us, he played the local cafes and restaurants and doing his singer-songwriter stuff. He, in the space of a few years, moved over and performed in New York, Vancouver, Nashville. He has done live shows all across the country and is currently the head of licensing and sync licensing for Bandwagon Music. He's a true champion of independent artists, and in the spirit of independence we thought we would play a clip of his, not on one of his big live shows, but just a lovely clip in his own lounge room, and it's a song dedicated to his sister. Here is an incredible bloke called Adam Kane, who can really truly show what you can do in the music industry if you truly put your heart, your soul and your mind into it. So with great pleasure, here is Adam Kane.
I dedicate this to my sister Rachel in Australia. I love you, sis, and I thank you for all your support over the years, especially as it pertains to my creative endeavours.
If I hadn't spoken, then you wouldn't know what I'm thinking. You're looking ahead, ignoring the facts without reason. I know that you're young, know it all, and people are stubborn. But I am the wiser one here, 'cause I've been there, and I get it. You're an idol now, and you can't do that. Make your way out there and don't talk back, 'cause you've got a few life lessons to learn. Be humble, grounded, cool, don't burn, yeah. You've got this. Put down your phone and log out of your social media. You try to compare your life to others, you lose your way. I know that you're young, know it all, and painfully stubborn. But I am the wiser one here, 'cause I've been there, and I get it. You're an idol now, and you can't do that. Make your way out there and don't talk back, 'cause you've got a few life lessons to learn. Be humble, grounded, cool, don't burn, yeah. Now I'm not saying I got all the answers to your questions. Try and live regret-free, but not at the expense of others. Get ahead and treat those around you with respect, and yeah, keep that ego in check. Oh, yeah. Guitar solo. You're an idol now, and you can't do that. Make your way out there and don't talk back, 'cause you've got a few life lessons to learn. Be humble, grounded, cool, don't burn, yeah. You've got this.
we've certainly got something that's a little more hard-edged than normal. Wollongong Rockers, The Dark Clouds, are this month's double play, and they are an incredible band of slightly misfitting, cheeky, hard rockers with just a little bit of punk and a huge dash of audacity thrown in. They like to constantly remind people that while they hail from Wollongong, it's the Wollongong of old. That is, not the slowly being gentrified of Wollongong now, but the Wollongong that has its skeleton firmly in the heavy industry and the sweat and the grime that comes with it. Tonight we're going to play two of their songs, one of which is incredibly popular called NFP, which is their tribute to the Mad Max series. So sit back, put your seatbelt on and hang out there with The Dark Clouds.
I saw you dancing
Polly, get in.
This is Big Bopper. What's going down?
We've got a cop killer.
Cop killer?
You need to know if it goes listen, you know it. This is a routine pursuit code.
For Christ's sake, shut over! Well, not this again. I've been assigned.
Pursuit special has been stolen. Please respond.
Screaming down the highway on a cold 44. The sky candy sprucey in the black
Well, that was the Dark Clouds and MFP, which is their tribute to that wonderful, iconic Aussie movie, Mad Max. Speaking of icons, Aussie, how are you, mate?
Good, thanks, Andy. Speaking of mad, you mean?
Well, maybe
That'd be
mad
me.
icons.
And that was my favourite all-time movie, Mad Max 1, because I don't make them like that anymore.
No.
What a classic movie.
Yeah.
And, mate, it was R-rated back in the day. believe it or not.
Really? Wow, I didn't.
Yes.
Didn't even think about that. Well, there you go. My house
Yeah, I think-
standards have changed.
Yeah, well, nowadays anything goes, but I think back then it was particularly the scene of the girl being attacked
Yeah.
and that sort of thing, and the bikie influence. I think that sort of made it R-rated.
It was pretty shocking
But
to
if you-
its day.
If you buy the CD or the DVD, it's M
Yeah.
or M plus. So it's changed the ratings, but yeah, back in the day, R-rated. Ooh.
There you go.
Oh,
Speaking of
yeah.
R-rated, how are you? No, that's fine. Mate, so mate, we've got a gig guy coming up. We're going to preface this by saying subject to COVID, because we've come out of
Yes.
lockdown down here, but it looks like you guys are, going into lockdown up there.
Well, absolute joke, mate. You know where we're located, of course, in the northern end of the Central Coast. We're
Yep.
still called Greater Sydney,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and we've had gigs cancelled left, right, and centre already for this weekend, or starting off from today, really. Thursday, any live performers are pretty well out of action right
Oh.
through the weekend for 7 days, and that includes our open mic at the Halley,
Yep.
where we had 18 musos on Tuesday night, and now there's nothing next Tuesday, which is a darn shame. And musos are doing themselves out of money. They're losing $1,000 a week through this. Pretty sad.
Absolutely. It is very sad, very sad. So, yeah, look, we'll go ahead. We're going to do the gig guide anyway, and we are going to cross our fingers, cross our eyes, and cross anything else that can be crossed, and pray like mad that it's a very brief lockdown and that these gigs will go ahead. But as usual, check your local guides. So what do you got for us, Aussie?
That's it. Well, fortunately, we are commencing off through July. So hopefully in July, things will be back in order. So on the 2nd of July, we've got Salter Sadai.
Salter Sadai.
Get that right? Salter Sadai, commonly known as the Salties. They're performing at the Stag and Hunter Hotel in Newcastle. It's a great music venue there. They'll also be supported by Lucid Lane. There's another band going around there as well. Brendan Watson, now good mate, he's at the Swansea Hotel at 7 p.m. on the 2nd of July as well. Then the next day, Brendan is heading to the Star Hotel in Newcastle, which is fully refurbished and revamped, mate. The pub's looking fantastic there, all done up. And so he'll be there at 8 p.m. on the 3rd of July. That's Brendan Watson.
Maybe you can
Alex
write
Smith.
Maybe you can write a new song about the Star Hotel. Update.
He could. Our local guy, not Alex from Moving Pictures. He's at the Terrigal Beach Markets at 11 a.m. on the 3rd. Then he's heading off to Sounds on West at Minor for an evening session. That'll kick off at 6:30. So he's a busy man on that day. On the 9th, Salter Sadai. They're at the Link and Pin, and they're being supported by the hilarious Blue and the Doctor.
Hey.
Classic, that pair.
Oh,
Classic.
they
I think
are
I think you've got one of their songs, haven't you? In the
Yeah, got a brand newie from them with a special guest singer that is going to be airing in a little bit later on in the show. You'll see them come up, and you know, people always see those guys as being almost a comedy duo, but man, the sheer talent that those guys have, yeah, really, really cool.
Beautiful. On the 11th of July, mate, Alex Smith's back in action. He's at the Ballistic Brewery, which is Springfield, not New South Wales, Springfield in Brisbane, Queensland at 12 noon. So hopefully borders are back open for that one for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got Ohana. They're down at the Hardy's Bay Club on the 11th at 1 p.m. On the 17th, we've got Two to the Floor at the Beach Hotel at Merriweather up in Newcastle at 9 p.m.
Beautiful part of the world up there.
That nice view from that balcony up top too, just looking straight over the ocean. Beautiful place, beautiful. But at 9 o'clock, you've got to turn around and watch Brendan. As in Two to the floor. That's
Two to
Brendan
the
Watson's duo. Yes. Our good friends, Bounty Hunters Band. They're at Wanderlin Bowling Club on the 18th at 1:30 p.m. afternoon session, and they're great fans. Vicky and David will be there, and Vicky's birthday is being celebrated that day too. So she's got her own band performing for her on her birthday.
That's pretty
Wanderlin
cool,
Bowling.
isn't it? That's I think that's absolutely brilliant that such a popular band as those guys will actually do a gig for a fan. I think that is just so awesome, and you know they are so busy at the moment too. They've got a new contract. They're recording coming up, and there's going to be some big things for them later on this year.
Outstanding they are. Fantastic. Like, of course, Dave on guitar. Like he's been around, you know, with Finch, Contraband. He's played with
Rabbit, of course.
Feather. Rabbit, oh yes, yeah, that's a great song too.
Too much rock and roll.
That's the one. Yeah, never too much, is it?
No.
Yeah. So that'll be a great gig down there at the Wanderlin Bowling Club, and it coincides with Vicky's birthday, so she'll be there with bells on, and I'll go along and have a lemon squash with her just to celebrate.
Fantastic.
Yeah, this kind of guy I am, you know.
Yeah. Generous to a fault.
Okay. And Brendan Watson on the 18th as well. He's at the Windsor Castle Hotel. That's 12 noon gig for him. That's up Maitland Way.
Yep.
It's a really nice pub. That one is done up beautiful inside too. So that's a nice venue if you're in the Maitland area. Duck up to the Windsor Castle Hotel there, sort of towards Beresfield. Nice place, that one too. On the 24th, Brendan Watson back in action, of course. He's at the Exchange Hotel. That kicks off at 6 p.m. On the 25th, the next day, he's heading up to the beautiful Nelson Bay area, and he's going to Shoal Bay Country Club. And it's a 2:30 start, so another nice venue, of course. And Brendan Watson, the star of our gig guide, he's down at the Edelon on the 31st of July at 8 p.m. And we've got Alex Smith. He's at the Long Jetty Markets at 10:30 a.m. on the 31st of July. And then we're into August, of course. And if you're an Angels fan, Angels are at Toronto Hotel on the 1st of August.
That's going to be huge.
I think it's already sold out. And also, I can't pronounce it. No, I can't pronounce it, so I won't say it. But they're at the Toronto Hotel coming up. The Cabarettas or something like that.
The Cabrettos. Daryl
Sorry,
Braith, the fabulous Cabrettos.
Yes.
Daryl Braithwaite,
That's
Russell Morris,
yes.
and
Ray
Thistlethwaite. That's it.
And there's one more.
Sorry, Ray.
There's one more. I feel really bad. Yeah. And if you want to see Brian Cadd and Russell Morris, they're coming together. I think it's a Sunday gig. Could be the 16th. I'll check the dates there. I've got one written in. It'll be the 6th. You know it won't. Must be the 17th. A Sunday. No, I'm lost. I won't try to say that one. But they're on at 16 footers, Belmont 16 footers in mid-July.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I think it's probably it's a Sunday, and I'm interviewing Brian Cadd on my radio program on the 7th.
Now we should give a plug
Sunday.
there. You can listen to that anywhere you like in the country, and we're talking about 97.3 FM, Lake Macquarie FM, and you can watch that on TuneIn and all different apps, can't you?
Yeah. And you can find us for lakemacquarie.fm, easy website, and there's links there to get on and have a listen. 6 till 9 Wednesdays if you want to listen to me. Probably don't, but anyway.
No, look, I think credit where credit's due there, Oz. You actually host one of the best radio shows around, mate. And anyone, if you want to listen to radio on a Wednesday night, don't miss it. It's a great show, and your support of indie artists is absolutely fabulous, mate. Don't ever stop.
Thanks, mate. We get a lot of locals send their music in, top 5.
Yep, absolutely. Ozzy, thank you very much, mate. That's been a great gig, guy. And like I said, this is all subject to COVID, of course, and we are just going to pray like mad that this whole COVID thing will slowly and quickly disappear and things can get back to normal. Bless you, mate. You have a great time, and we'll see you for the next show, Oz.
Cheers, mate. Say hi to the family and enjoy your venture south of the border.
Thank you.
Well, that was the inimitable Wayne Ozzy Osbourne from up on the Central Coast of New South Wales with their local gig guide. We're looking to expand our gig guide into other areas, so if you have your finger on the pulse of what gigs are happening in your area, we would love to chat to you and get you on the show. So you can reach us on rabbitholeclips@gmail.com. Our next artist tonight is simply a whole package, is the only word I could use to describe the wonderful talents of Jessie May Kitchen. Jessie May is a director, an artist, a producer and a conceptualist. Every time we see one of her film clips, it's a glimpse into an unreal, wonderful fantasy world that she just portrays so beautifully. We first caught up with Jessie May, of course, in the first 1 or 2 episodes of our show with a wonderful song with Scooby-Doo themes called Blue Skies. And here she is with her latest clip, Calm in the Eye of the Storm, following along a different theme this time, but the most beautifully filmed music video and a fantastic song, I might add. So here is Jessie May Kitchen and Calm in the Eye of the Storm.
4 a.m. at a bus stop, blinded by the headlights. Can't complain, there's such a beautiful sky. Tell myself to focus, you know I love to daydream. Not a habit, it's more of an instinct. Looking further into life's meaning, thinking about all the endless possibilities. Well, you can run from many things, but you can't run from destiny. Yeah, that's just me, that's just how it's gonna be. I won't cry no more, I'm calm in the eye of the storm. Calm in the eye of the storm. Feels so much better to be back in the spotlight, back on track, smiling in the sunlight. Kinda done it without my best friends. I was alone, I thought the worst. Stop trying, I was that hurt. Despite it all, we begin again. Well, you can run from many things, but you can't run from destiny. Yeah, that's just me, that's just how it's gonna be. I won't cry no more, I'm calm in the eye of the storm. Calm in the eye of the storm. You think that nobody cares and they don't understand, while the world keeps storming around. You've got people who love you and people who want you. Don't you dare turn back now. Well, you can run from many things, but you can't run from destiny. Yeah, that's just me, that's just how it's gonna be. I won't cry no more, I'm calm in the eye of the storm. Calm in the eye of the storm. I'm calm in the eye of the storm. Calm in the eye of the storm. I'm calm in the eye of the storm. Calm in the eye of the storm.
Ah yes, the wonderful, wonderful tones of Jessie May Kitchen. Our next act tonight is no stranger to us. We see the very welcome return of Michael Dalton and Sean Wilson from Blue and the Doctor. We have been very used to Blue and Doctor being our, if you like, almost light comedy relief on the show with such hilarious film clips as Captain Comfortable or the more politically satirical Cicada Madness. Always Blue and the Doctor have been quirky, a bit hilarious, but incredibly talented, and they perform their music with extreme dedication. For this next song though, it's a real change of pace. They are joined by their guest vocalist Maddie, who sings with them a song called Cooler, while still having some elements of comedy feel to it. It is a much more poignant and serious topic, and a song called Cooler. Maddie's vocals are very reminiscent of Dido, but with a much more rootsy feel, and she has an absolutely beautiful voice and pulls off this song absolutely brilliantly. So congratulations to Blue and the Doctor with guest vocalist Maddie and their song Cooler.
Am I so ugly? Why should I care that my hair is parted on the wrong side? That my hair is parted at all? Everybody's cooler than me. Everybody's loved, and I'm not happy. I'm not angry. Everybody's better than me. Everybody's hip, and I'm not happy. I'm not angry. Well, I hope you're not disappointed when I open my fat mouth. Oh, and I'm not smart, it's not heaven. 2 and 2 make 7. Everybody's cooler than me. Everybody's loved, and I'm not happy. I'm not angry. Everybody's better than me. Everybody is hip, and I'm not happy. I'm not angry. Everybody's cooler. Everybody's cooler. Everybody's cooler. Everybody's Everybody's cooler than me. Everybody's loved, and I'm not happy. I'm not angry. Everybody's better than me. Everybody's better. Everybody's cooler, and I'm not angry.
Well, that was Blue and the Doctor with special guest Maddie singing Cooler. What a great, almost teenage angst song that is. Our next artist we actually saw last episode, the wonderful talents of Mr. Brett Reed, who among other things toured Europe with a band called John Deere and also did some time with a band called Deviate. He got a fantastic reaction in our last show, so we wanted to feature one more clip of his, and here's a song close to my heart called Gone Fishing. Well, that was Going Fishing with the wonderful Mr. Brett Reed. Now, our next band is no stranger to DTRH, and we are really pleased to be able to play this song again, and it is there for a reason. This is Saltus a Day and Fall of Rome, and I think you'll find it's going to tie in very well with our brand new segment coming up next.
Start with them, okay. your sirens, maybe already dead. I'm peeping into windows, scoping for a sign of life. Yeah, I'm hoping just to make it through another night. I said, warning, don't follow me. Save yourself from the pool. I'll call you when I'm free. I said, save yourself from the pool. Everybody's had a breakdown. Everybody got a broken heart. I said the whole world's had a shakedown, tearing people apart. Warning, don't follow me. Save yourself from the pool. I'll call you when I'm free. I said, save yourself from the pool. In a never-ending night, you've been searching for a light, looking out for anyone, but what we've been can't be undone. Those who lose and those who win, all the walls are closing in. The democracy is here, the world of dreams, baby, will disappear.
Well, that was Salta Sedai and Fall of Rome, which is a very appropriate song, I think, to open our brand new segment called Doing Your Block. This new segment is going to have a guest presenter every episode, and they are going to comment on things that are happening in the music industry in general. Fall of Rome we thought was a very appropriate song for what's been happening in Sony land in Australia, and in particular with the Dennis Hanlon saga that's been going on. Our special guest presenter for this episode is John Pryor, and John is creative brains and drummer behind, of course, awesome Aussie legends Matt Finish. Has a really fantastic site called the Australian Independent Musicians Association site on Facebook, and I caught up with John a little earlier to have a chat about what's been going on in Sony land. So here is episode 1 of Doing Your Block. Well, my guest today on DTRH is the wonderful Mr. John Pryor. John, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
No worries. John, I'm intrigued because I think many of us in the music industry know the basics of what's been going on at Sony and the Dennis Hanlon saga. Perhaps just before we get into the wheres and whys, would you like to just give a brief outline of what's been going on?
Well, 20 Sony staff members in Sydney contacted the head office of Sony in America and made complaints about the workplace culture. Some of the accusations that have been reported in the newspapers include, hiring young, attractive women and sacking them when they get pregnant, for example, which is really unfair. And hitting on them at work functions when all the staff get drunk. And that's racism. And none of this is really acceptable behaviour these days. It's pretty old school to carry on like that. Sony Music, of course, is a music company selling a youthful image of young, attractive sexy pop stars. And I guess they try to have some of that image reflected in their staff, and then the artists come over and they all party and do things that they shouldn't. So that's basically what's happened. And Dennis Hanlon is the head of, or has been the head of Sony Music, and he has been fired. And the newspapers have been very clear to report that he's not directly accused of any particular behaviour, but we can assume that at very least
it's fostering culture.
It's the culture, and he's the head of it, and if he can't change it, they have been talking about this for a few months, so obviously he hasn't been able to turn it around quick enough, and head office has stepped in and they're firing 3 executives so far, and who knows where it's going to lead.
Having been around in the music industry for quite a few years, does this surprise you?
Well, for quite a few years I haven't been involved so much in that side of the industry because they are so, corrupt financially with royalties and all that. You just really can't bank on a career on that side of the industry. So I've made a point of being independent, taking on live performance and production gigs independently. I teach in schools, I do lectures in colleges and universities, I play gigs with my band, Matt Finish. I have my studio here and usually produce 5 or so albums and a few soundtracks and or ads every year.
Fantastic.
And that's all independent. I can do that separately. I'm not signed to a publisher either. So I'm not signed to a record label or to a publisher, and that makes me completely independent.
Yeah.
The Matt Finish records we did sign to an independent record company called Giant, and sometime during the 80s, without informing us, they on-sold all the rights to CBS, which is now Sony. So Sony claims to own the copyright in Matt Finish.
And that's got to hurt.
I just think that they haven't paid us any royalties, they haven't accounted to us. We have no contract in place. So I've you know, to be honest, I see them as a criminal organisation, and you know, they need to be investigated, not just about workplace culture with their staff inside the CBS building in East Sydney, but with all of the artists over the history of time that they've worked with.
It's interesting. It's interesting because we started down the rabbit hole because I guess I could see. I'm an artist myself. I perform myself, but I could see so many incredibly talented artists out there who I know have been belting their head against walls, sometimes for years, and are being overlooked, undeservedly so. And it's much bigger than I thought. When I started this show, I thought I'd struggle to get reasonable quality film clips from reasonable quality bands, and I was so wrong. We struggle to fit them all in. In fact, this particular show is now 20 minutes longer than it was even a few months ago because the amount of stuff that's coming in and its quality. And when I heard about this Sony thing, it unfortunately didn't surprise me, but I just don't get why independent artists in this country are just taking it so badly from companies like this. And, you know, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to be sued like any of us, but I'm hoping, and I want to know your thoughts on this, that with a new hierarchy at Sony Australia, do you think there is any hope for independent artists to get a better hearing, both from the record company, which obviously will overflow to radio? What's your thoughts?
Well, that's a deep question. Firstly, just to differentiate, I mean, if we work with and sign with Sony, we're not independent. That's the definition of being an independent musician, is not being signed with what is now the three majors, Sony, Universal and Warner. Sony, Universal and Warner work together as a cartel, and I'm not making this up, this is what ACCC say.
Yeah.
And together as a cartel, these three American-based companies control APRA, which collects all the publishing royalties. Excuse me, all the publishing royalties in Australia, and they also control PPCA, which controls all the recording royalties. So they collect royalties from radio, television, pay them through to the artists. They tend to be quite efficient paying artists who are signed with three major publishers. They tend to be not so accomplished at actually getting royalties to independent musicians. So we've developed this understanding that APRA and PPCA, being controlled by the majors, are not really helpful to Australian independent musicians, and I think that's a terrible thing. All musicians, signed or not, to those particular three companies that have managed to dominate, you know, music around the world.
Correct.
You know, if we're not with them, we don't have so much of a chance. I liked what you said earlier that, you know, to put it in my own words, there's two sides to the industry. There's the corporate side, which is Sony and Universal and Warner and all the commercial media that they control. And I believe they control it by controlling APRA because they're setting the price of music as a cartel monopoly. They're the only agency collecting those royalties. They set the price of music to radio, so it's, I suppose, an unspoken or spoken, I wouldn't know, where it's play all of our mainstream stuff or we'll bump up the rates. So they have control way across the industry, awards, charts, commercial airplay everywhere, which is really the only airplay that's worth money. You know, you can get 1,000 streams online, you'd be lucky to earn $1.
That's correct. And the other thing is that I find, and I'm sorry to cut you short there, John. The thing that I found is they're shooting themselves in the foot because community radio is playing so much independent, and more people are turning to community radio. Now, I know 2 or 3 stations, again, on the Central Coast, and they're rating through the roof with some of their stuff because people are starting to wake up that there is so much good local content not being heard. And it's now going beyond the musicians themselves and their fans. It's becoming more broad-reaching. And I think if they don't wake up and do something soon, eventually they're going to eat themselves. What's your thoughts?
The majors can control the whole industry by just importing songs that have already been hits overseas.
Yeah.
They're not really interested in signing many local artists. They do a few each year. It's really not a lot considering, you know, by various reports, there's hundreds of thousands of musicians in Australia, tens of thousands who are taking it seriously, really trying to make a go of it.
Yep.
We know how few actually succeed. So they're never going to help us. They're all about market share. They're about dominating market share. And with the control they have through APRA and PPCA and ARIA, and the awards and the charts and their network of shops, etc., their control of streaming, and it really is right across the board. They've got reps out there every day to the television stations trying to sell them underscore music, you know. So even that is difficult to compete with. And to understand the energy behind it is over 100 years, you know, the majors have been supplying music to radio, and they've learnt that when radio is trying to win over a new advertising client, for example, let's just say off the top of our heads, a car, right?
Yep.
They want to get Toyota or Holden or something like that. They want to get that account worth hundreds of thousands of dollars maybe each year. And so the record company will go to the radio station tells them that, they go away and come back with music that's suited to Holden or Toyota or whatever the product that they're trying to get is. Over the years, the marketing guys have realised that most economic activity in our society, or at least the biggest one to tap into for advertisers, is young women getting married and having babies, because they're in an environment where the family's helping them buy a house and a car, and suddenly she's making decisions about furniture and where the kids are going to go to school, and that's what drives radio and television.
Mm.
Music has become, like, from the major record companies, music is just to supply that.
Yeah.
So the music that they produce needs to be tightly controlled to be pro-consumerist.
And orientated, yeah.
And the independent music industry is completely not that at all. The independent music industry is independent musicians all around the country, of all ages, all both genders, all races, you know.
Doing what drives them.
Being passionate about their lives and their communities. And so independent music I see as connected to community. That's community radio as well, which are the greatest supporters of Australian independent music. Problem is, community radio isn't worth much in royalties to musicians.
No.
So you can have a whole career with heaps of support in the community media and still not be able to pay your bills. And if you want good musicians, you got to pay them, because they've got to pay the bills. And honestly, music is such a time-taking career.
I was going to say, I'm sorry to cut you short, John, but yeah, look, that's definitely a conversation for another day. 100%. John, thanks very much. Look, just thanks for coming in. We would love to have you back at some stage with some other comment, if you're up for it. In the meantime, John, we decided we would love to honour you and play one of the Matt Finish's great songs. You know which one it is. Back in 1981, would you tell us a little bit about that particular concert and Fade Away, I think it is, isn't it? And tell us a little bit about that concert and introduce the song.
Well, it was a heat wave that day, and by the second or third song, we were completely drenched in sweat and just going for it. The venue was absolutely jam-packed, and it was the old school lighting that was 100 degrees hot, you know.
No such thing as LED.
It was the first live video done on digital cameras and a live digital mixing console that the crew actually made themselves. So it was one of the first digital clips ever.
I was going to say, I was quite blown away for the fact that, you know, it was 1981, and the clarity and the sound and clarity of that clip is quite phenomenal when you consider that it's, you know, 40 plus years old. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to give away your age here, but it was quite astounding to see. John, thanks very much. We're going to play that clip right now. And look, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thanks, Andy.
God bless.
Well, that was the inimitable and outspoken Mr. John Pryor. Please remember, folks, that all the opinions expressed in Down the Rabbit Hole on the Doing Your Block segment are not necessarily those of Down the Rabbit Hole, but we love to have this segment so that people can air their views. We would also encourage you to write into us and give us your views on what John said, and we will do our best to get those out to you in the next episode of Down the Rabbit Hole. And you can write to us at rabbitholeclips@gmail.com.
This is called Prelude.
Well, we come to the final song of the show, and I'd just like to say a big thank you for tuning in and watching again. You are welcome to email us at rabbitholeclips@gmail.com if you would like to comment on any segments of the show. And of course, if you have a music video that you would like played, please send your clip or a downloadable link along with your bio, and of course any upcoming gigs you may have, again to rabbitholeclips@gmail.com. We'll look forward to hearing from you, and to take us out tonight, here is Queensland's own Jason Bagola and a song called Fathers, and we'll catch you next time. Good night, folks.
Here's a little song I wrote called Fathers. Man I call my father is my teacher and my friend. He said things like, if it's not to break, the tree must learn to bend. Metaphors for life he'd say to help me understand. These guides for life were there to help me be a better man. Fishing was my fate, baiting hooks and casting lines, and how to find the best spots by learning all the signs. Time with him was special, 'cause he taught me how to shine, and thanks to him and lessons learned, I'm turning out just fine. Old country songs and movies keep reminding me of you. The stuff we built together and the time you pulled me through. Pictures of you on my wall help me recall the times of camping and a fishing, and I get lost in your old line. Do you wanna dad? Now I'm on spots, the lessons on the give. My kids a better chance in life, a better chance to live. When my work is finally done and all my dues are paid, I reminisce of my old dad, those foundations that he laid. Old country songs and movies keep reminding me of you. Stuff we built together in the time you pulled me through. Pictures of you on my wall help me recall the times of camping and of fishing. I get lost in your old line. Old country songs and movies keep reminding me of you. Stuff we built together and the time you pulled me through. Pictures of you on my wall help me recall the times of camping and of fishing, and I get lost in your old line. Thank you.
This episode of Down the Rabbit Hole is brought to you by Music Centre Gosford for all your music needs.